Namaste, Jai Bharat. There had been a phenomenal problem with Europeans and the way they look at Bharat. This had been very, very old, traditionally old. Most of the people have hardly understood the essence and worth and the logic of Bharat. They have hardly understood. The one instance of their coming directly in contact with Bharat is the 17th century great European voyages sea voyages they have taken, and then they come across this land, and they found something very different from the kind of experiences they had back at home. But that was not very effectively communicated to the common people of Europe. They continued to make imaginations of Bharat and their convictions upon their imaginations that this is the land of snake charmers, etc., etc. Of course, it takes, there's a saying going, it takes a genius to understand another genius. And for someone who is a common, a genius may be a fool, or meaningless, or gibberish. Precisely this is what some of the European thinkers spoke about the Vedas and Upanishads. They thought it is gibberish until Aurobindo gave them something. So this thing had a beginning long before, because they have failed to understand. They failed because they did not have the categories of concepts to understand the Bharatiya phenomenon. So they fail to understand. They can't understand. And they will go to their own conclusions, which are extremely reductionistic in all sense of the time. Now, this is precisely what they thought when they were up to making a colony of Bharat, colonizing Bharat, and there are so many instances and incidents. This British parliamentarian Wilfred Scaven Blunt, he even spoke in the British Parliament that Bharat is not just a nation, it's just an assemblage of many nations, he said nations, which we brought together. Look at the British reductionistic short sight. We brought them together, and of course, the moment we leave, they will all fall apart. So he suggested in his long speech, the date I forgot, I have reference, the moment we leave, they will all fall apart. They cannot be one nation. So it's better that we give them separate administrations convenient according to their convenience and go. There is one suggestion he made. So the point is, they have ever failed to understand Bharat, then also and now also. Otherwise, many of the European agencies won't be up to destabilizing Bharat. They can't do it, and they don't understand they can't do it. And they will never understand. But that is the problem. They will never understand because they are not equipped with ingenuity and perceptions to understand the inner, intricate, logical, philosophical, Sanskritic phenomena of Bharat. This, of course, the Sanskritic phenomena of Bharat, and also the Hindu Dharma itself. Only very few Europeans have understood what Hindu Dharma is and how strong and how powerful it is, though apparently very relaxing and very powerless. They can't understand the inherent strength. So this is precisely what happened. Look what in 1947, these people are very confident that in a couple of years this Bharat, which they were compelled to leave, will fall apart into many areas because they failed to perceive some kind of unity in this nation Bharat. Because they have never understood and they can't understand the unifying principle of Bharat, which is a Sanskriti based on a knowledge tradition, which is Veda Upanishad knowledge tradition, and the Dharma that we say, which they call religion, is an outward expression of the knowledge tradition. These things are interconnected and they hardly understand it, or hardly ever understood it, and now also still they are far flung. So they were so confident that how can this people with multiple languages, multiple ways of learning, they call it as culture, but they are not culture. They are varieties of the same Sanskriti. How can they live together? They can't. They can't. Because these people are united either on the basis of language or on the basis of some geographical given identity or on the basis of their religion. They have many theocratic states. These are the things which identify people. They create an identity. No, none of them have ever understood an identity based on a Sanskriti, because they have not understood Sanskriti. They think Sanskriti is culture, which is again wrong. So they were so confident that this nation will fall apart and go to ruins, in spite of the fact that when they left us in our ruins. Our GDP was so less, and everything was so bad. They have already looted and destroyed us by the time they went. We really have to build brick upon brick upon brick, slowly. Our people, many of our great minds, great leaders of Bharat have contributed to the making of Bharat. Though it was very slow, because they kept hindering, they kept influencing the Europeanized, the Britishized minds, and kept misguiding them as that's right guidance. They still do it, unfortunately, thinking that they gain something, but they lose. They don't gain anything. In the long run, they lose things. They hardly gain. So they thought this will happen to Bharat, and whatever they predicted about Bharat has happened to Pakistan in spite of their military rule, so-called democracy, so-called military rule, theocracy, all those things blended together, mixed together. Whatever they thought would happen to Bharat had precisely happened to Pakistan after they left, in a much miserable way, in spite of the monetary and financial help which Pakistan received from outside. Without plenty of help they received, and this many of the Europeans helped them. They have the funny habit of helping Muslims, thinking that they will obey them, they will listen to them. Of course, they have not learned from their mistakes. They will never obey anyone. And of course, these people, none of them are trustworthy. Both are equally untrustworthy. So look at the time when Bharat became independent. Then the person like Winston Churchill, who was at that time Prime Minister of UK, England, he was so sure that there are no sufficiently capable leaders in Bharat, as though these people are sufficiently capable, and Bharat will fall apart. He thought there. His speech is there. You can find it out. Possibly in internet it should be there. I heard it elsewhere. Rascals and incapable people are going to rule Bharat. That's what he thought. Then that same opinion, he also thought it's a land of snake charmers and people like that. And Truman, the US president, also had the same opinion. That's generally, Europeans thought that these people don't know anything. They can't even do anything of their own. They believed that the Europeans came and gave us everything. They even thought that they have united us. If they have united us, we would have fallen apart as they expected. See, their logic is different, their concepts are different, their understanding is different, and still don't understand. They don't understand us. Still they don't understand that they don't understand Bharat. And I don't know if there will be any day when they can understand what our nation is, our people are, our Sanskriti is. So the same thing went on. And today, of course, you can see even the US themselves did not have appropriate elections as we had. We had 18 successful elections with no problem, all peaceful, and continuous democracy. We have our turmoils, ups and downs, everything, but that's within us. Our democracy had nothing. It never suffered anything. In spite of an emergency declared, I don't know under whose advice, in spite of that, the democracy remained democracy for Bharat. So, and look at the progress we made. I need not to tell. You just look at 1947 Bharat and 2024 Bharat, from where we have grown up to where. And you thought we will go from pillar to post for food. You thought that we had just gone to ruin. Schaban Blunt thought that within no time, couple of years, this will all become fragmented. We were never fragmented. See, unity is not political unity alone. Unity has a deeper meaning for us. So we were never fragmented and we were ever united. And many can join us. Only thing, we can't afford to take people of Pakistan or Bangladesh as a part of us, though they used to be a part of us once upon a time, because they have been so brainwashed and destroyed by their religion. Everything they see through Islam, and such people we can't coexist with us. A delineation process with these people should take generations. So why should we take the risk of bringing these people to Bharat? Precisely when Bangladesh became independent, many of our people have thought and advised the administration not to leave them free, make them a part of us because they are already within us. Then, of course, the South Indian Brahmins in particular, this is what somebody told me during my master's days, one teacher. He was telling, no, we can't afford to keep them here. They will multiply and they will create nuisance for us. So we can't afford to keep these people here. Let them be wherever they are. We will provide them from outside all the help. But we can't give them citizenship. We should not. Save the situation. If tomorrow Pakistan wants to merge with Bharat, we are not takers. We can't afford, because they have got estranged from the Sanskriti of Bharat. It will take again generations for them to, if ever a process of delineation could take place. So take it, rest assured, take it as granted from me that you have not understood Bharat. I am talking about Europe or even neighbors. You have not understood what Bharat is. You have not understood what unites Bharat. You have not understood the logic of a Hindu mind. We don't quarrel, but we persist. We have tolerance and we can remain live in almost kind of hardships, and we will come successful. Never through violence, through our convictions. We know. It's not a spurious convictions like what the Pakistani Jazba. No, we know it. We know it. So please stop attempting any funny things with Bharat. We don't interfere with your matters. Why do you think you can destabilize? You just can't. However you try. Or even if you imagine that you have destabilized Bharat for a time being, it will again get reunited. All your efforts will become fiasco. In case of America especially, you have had several lessons from others. Say Afghanistan or Vietnam or many such places where you where you get your face blackened. Why do you try that with us? Do something better, more philanthropic and more say anthropocentric as you are always doing, but in a very selfish manner. Till we meet again. Namaste. Jai Bharat, Jai Shri Ram.